Hi guys, it's Rob from Royal Balls. Day 36 for a couple of my females down here in the maternity racks. They still haven't laid eggs yet. It's been pretty cool outside over the last couple of weeks. We've had plenty of rain and temperatures at night have dropped. So these girls are taking their own sweet time laying their eggs. So in the meantime, I thought what we'd do is take a look at the females that have laid. Some of them from way back in April, and just see how the females are getting on, how they're recovering, what they look like now that they've laid eggs. So we'll get a look at the females. We'll take a look at clutch number 2 that's been set up for a few days. The hatchlings have been out of the egg for a couple of days. And I'll also show you how to assist feed. Clutch number 1 have been out of the egg for about a month now, and 7 of the babies have all had multiple meals and they're eating quite nicely. One of the babies is not eating by itself. It's had to be assist fed. It still is refusing to eat by itself, although it still is healthy. So just in case you need it, it is hatching season and there's always one every year that needs to be assist fed. So I'll just give you a little demonstration of assist feeding for those of you that have never done it before. It is a little bit unpleasant. It's unpleasant for the snake and it's unpleasant for you, but this was a very good demonstration. The snake actually was extremely cooperative, so let's take a look at that. So this girl was the first to lay. She laid back in April and her clutch is already out of the egg, clutch 1, so more than 2 months. You can see she's just made a mess of a tub. She is putting weight back on. And she is hungry. She came at me as I opened the tub, but you can see that she was extremely skinny when she laid, but she's regained condition and she's eating ravenously now. So that's a good 2 months ago that she laid. She was very skinny, but she's gaining weight rapidly now and eating really well. So we'll clean her tub out in a moment. This girl laid back in May, and her clutch is the leopard clutch that just hatched, clutch number 2, so that was 2 months ago, and you can see that she is still looking like she hasn't even laid yet. She's a big snake, very thick and in excellent condition, so she's back to feeding now every other week, every 2 weeks, which is my normal regime until next breeding season when we'll step up the feeding. But she's in great condition. She didn't actually lose a fantastic amount of condition when she laid. So that's my normal girl that laid the leopard clutch. This is the Silky Way girl that laid back in June. She gave me 6 eggs, but we lost 2 of the eggs, so only 4 of the eggs are in the incubator right now. And you can see that she is also eating and regaining her condition, so she's good. Still needs to put a little bit of weight on. She's still a little bit skinny, but she is eating well and she's looking awesome. So that's the girl, the Silky Way girl that laid back in June, and her clutch is due to hatch in the middle of August. This girl here is my pastel het lavender, who is now in shed. She laid in early July, so less than a month ago. And she's back eating and regained condition, and she's actually going into shed now, so all good with her. Her clutch is due to hatch in early September. She gave me 8 good eggs, and this is the spinner girl that laid just a couple of days ago. She hasn't eaten yet. She still thinks that she's sitting on eggs. You can see she's tightly coiled as if she is on a clutch of eggs. She is very skinny, 1300 grams after she finished laying, so hopefully in the next week or so she'll start eating again, but otherwise she's looking healthy. The leopard clutch, so we've got the pastels and the pastel leopards in here. They've been out of the egg for a couple of days now, and you can see they're still on damp paper towel. They're all huddled together at the back of the tub, and none of them look like they've got milky eyes yet, just a couple of days. So within the next week or so these guys should all go into shed, but it's quite normal. You can see this is normal behaviour for hatchlings. They all group together, tie themselves in a big knot, but they're all looking good. So that's clutch number 2. That's been out of the egg for just a couple of days. These guys haven't shed yet, so we haven't even attempted to feed these guys. Okay, let's cover assist feeding one more time for those of you that are having hatchlings that are having difficulty getting started. This is a fresh killed fuzzy mouse, and I like to use a mouse for the simple reason that a mouse has a nice pointed snout as opposed to a fuzzy rat, which is a little bit more blunt. So we're going to use this fuzzy mouse because of the point, and I'll show you why that's important in a moment. This is fresh killed because of the scent. Much more nicer mouse smell when they're fresh as opposed to frozen. Let's get the snake and go through this rather stressful process. This snake that I'm going to use is the pastel vanilla yellow belly that has been refusing to eat. It has been assist fed last week once and has refused to eat by itself again, so I'm going to assist feed for a second time. The first time I did it was quite easy. So here is the snake, and I do warn you guys that for those of you that are a little bit squeamish, this is a little bit unpleasant. It's stressful for the snake and also stressful for you. But let me show you the correct way to do it. So unfortunately you are going to have to grip the snake gently behind the head. Grip it firmly but gently and wait for the snake to settle. It might thrash around a little bit, and I take the mouse and I use the pointed part of the head and just lift the snout of the snake using the point on the mouse, and you can see it's opening its mouth. So I push the mouse in, so the point of the mouse's head goes right down the throat, and I push it about as far down as I can get. Let me see if I can show you that on camera. So the head has gone down the throat as far as we can, and then we try to latch the teeth so the snake cannot spit it out. So the snake has it in its mouth, and I'm not letting go of the snake, I'm just relaxing. And let the snake relax. That's what you want. You want him to not spit it out. Just relax and be patient and let him start to eat it by himself. Here we go. He's doing okay. He hasn't rejected it. You can see he's a little bit stressed. He's huffing. He doesn't really like to be out in the open and exposed. And what you want is to make it very difficult for the snake to actually reject the food. There's only one way it can go, and that's in. So I'm just being patient. And there we go, he's starting to eat it. He's decided he can't spit it out, so he's going to eat it instead. That's what you want. Don't startle him, don't do anything at the moment, just let him eat the meal. What a cooperative snake. Notice I haven't moved my hand. You don't want to startle the snake, just let it relax and continue eating. Just see if I can move my hand out of the way so the camera can see. There we go. Now when I assist feed, I don't normally put the snake down. I find if you put the snake down it tries to reject the food. I find that once you've picked it up and you've got the food in its mouth, the less that you do to disturb it, the better. So you'll notice that I am still actually holding the snake and it's not stressing out about it, it's just eating the mouse because there's nothing else it can do. But they do sometimes thrash and twist if you let them go, and they can twist the food out. Now, this guy obviously didn't do that. This has been a fairly straightforward assist feed without too much difficulty. And the objective of doing this is number one, to get the snake used to eating, but number two, just to get a little bit of size on it, and as it grows it will inevitably start eating by itself. Some would say that assist feeding is not really necessary, but I do find that it helps these slow hatchlings kickstart, and if done correctly doesn't do the snake any harm whatsoever. I would rather have a snake that is being assist fed and actually growing than one that is skinny and refusing to eat. So there we go guys, he's just swallowing that down now. Good job. I'll give him a little more time just to swallow it down before I put him back into his tub. He'll relax his grip on me when he's done. There we go, still swallowing a little further, so he has to move forward out of my hand in order to swallow it down, which he's doing now. There you go, now he's relaxing. And we can put him back in his tub. Okay guys, so that's the females that have laid. They're all nice and healthy and getting back up to size, eating very well, apart from the one that just laid a couple of days ago and she's still sulking. Clutch number 2 sitting nicely in their hatchling tub, all together back in the corner of the tub there, all balled up, which typically they do. They'll be shedding out sometime in the next week or so, and then we'll be attempting to feed them, and I'll bring you guys along for the ride there. I'll show you how I get my hatchlings started, and of course in the case of clutch 1 with the one hatchling that didn't actually get started, and we've taken a look there at assist feeding. I hope you didn't find that too disturbing. The snake was very cooperative. It's back in its tub now and digesting the meal that it just ate. So I'm wearing my David Suarez from Indonesia t-shirt tonight. He is just in the middle of his pairing season. I don't think he's had any clutches yet, but he's posting regularly on Instagram his pairings for this year, and David's going to have some awesome stuff. I hope after this pandemic subsides that I'll be able to pay David another visit in Jakarta and get a look at some of this year's hatchlings when they start to hatch. So that's it guys. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.